So what an opportunity to be here with you guys today at Gamification Summit. This conference has been fantastic. All the things that I'm learning, and one of the things that I tweeted out and some of my educator colleagues have said is like, you just take that word business or take that word corporate or take that word and swap out classroom or school and take that word employee or customer and swap out the word student or teacher. And so many of the things that I'm picking up here, I can transfer right into the classroom because really gamification applies wherever. And fun is fun, right? Started out as a high school science teacher for around 7 years, moved into the instructional technology arena thereafter and have been there ever since and have loved the entire journey from day one. All of my resources, my slides and everything about this project and all the other crazy game-based learning projects that I've been involved in are on my website, edurealms.com. Anyway, let's face a stark reality. School sucks. And if you don't believe me, you need to go out into a school and look. All right, now I'm not saying this is always true. There are amazing teachers out there doing amazing things in their classrooms, incredible things, and there's a lot of talk about education reform, but true education reform, I believe, is happening at the classroom level. It's not going to be some big corporate top-down sort of thing. It's where individual teachers working with real students are doing real things. This is just one example. So you see this kid in the back? This kid, he's not, I don't know who he is really, but I'm using this as an example from my own experiences. This kid's bored out of his mind. But this kid here, by evening, why is he so tired? Because in the evening, he's a level 90 human paladin leading massive groups of 25 or 40 people on these, from all over the world on these crazy, complex missions, coordinating things and working out, negotiating roles in the group and all that, and is experiencing an incredible level of learning and ownership of that experience. But when he's in the classroom, I give him a standard shoot for the middle kind of curriculum that's very mapped out. He has no input into it. And so, of course, he's bored out of his mind. And so that was sort of the thing that got this started. School should be that engaging. Came across a product from out of Boise State University called 3D Game Lab, which allowed us to do one of the things that we were trying to do with our curriculum, which was to gamify it. Because grades suck. Grades are stupid. You go into a classroom as a student, you start out with 100%, right? And the whole semester, the whole course is an effort to stem a slow bleed in your grading. And if World of Warcraft were designed that way, who wants to play that game, right? That stinks. If I was a level 60, or I guess level 89 paladin, and I go and I get killed by a dragon, and the game sent me back to level 1 and said, start again, I would quit, and I wouldn't pay $15 to keep playing. So we said, you know, maybe the classroom should take a note from that. Again, we set out to gamify the classroom. We said we're getting rid of all the things that smell like school. We told our students that while they're there, they're not students, they're heroes, and we expect them to behave as such. We're not teachers in that space. We're their lore keepers. We're guides. We're not that person at the front that says, you need to know this, you need to know this, you need to know this. We simply go along and we play the game with them, guiding that experience along the way, giving them feedback based off of their experiences and the kinds of things that they're doing when they're writing and all the other products that they're doing. We just give them feedback on it to help them improve their writing, improving their grammar. And instead of grades, because let's face it, grading, again, sucks. Failure in school is a punitive thing. I mean, how many of you had got zeros for using a bathroom pass or for doing something that had nothing to do with whether you were actually learning or not? Unfortunately, a lot of schools and a lot of teachers have used grades as a punitive action to punish people. And so we stigmatize failure such that I don't want to fail. And one of the things that I told students this year when we started the thing, I said, you're going to fail in here. And they freaked out a little bit. I said, no, it's okay. I want you to fail, and I want you to fail a lot. And I want you to reflect on that failure, and we're going to fail some more after that and see what happens. Failure is the name of the game because that's where the real learning is happening, is through the failure. His backstory for his character. And so it's a creative writing piece. And Peggy took this to his regular language arts teacher and said, I want you to look at what the student wrote. And that teacher said, he didn't write this. And Peggy said, yes, he did. I watched him write it. She said, why doesn't he write like this for me? And it's that engagement piece, again, that makes all the difference. Schools right now, so you know, and by the way, I really suggest you get out into public schools too so you can see what's going on. But schools are struggling to break free from a very industrial age model of education. A lot of kids still sitting in rows, still doing periodic standardized testing at the end of instruction. And that periodic standardized testing is very high stakes. And so it puts a lot of pressure on the teacher because teachers' evaluations are linked to students. And that student, you don't know what kind of home life they've come from. They may be coming out of a house where that morning their drunk father beat them. Yet you're held accountable for how they perform on a standardized test. So there's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of things that schools and teachers are dealing with right now. And so you need to understand that. It's very challenging to go into a school and say, I've got this really innovative program that we need to try out. It's different because one of the things they're going to want to see is how's this going to improve test scores? Test scores, test scores, test scores. And so you just be aware that that is part of the climate that we're in right now. But let me leave you with some opportunities that we have. The cool thing about this is I'm here, and this conversation has begun, and that's what's exciting to me, is that as businesses and corporations come to our schools and say, we need people who are critical thinkers, people who are problem solvers, people who can communicate and exhibit leadership. And I can say, let me show you some of the things that our heroes are doing right now and how what they're doing connects to what you need, more so than any SAT score, ACT score, any of those kinds of things as an indicator of how successful they'll be. That conversation has begun, and that's really exciting to me. And you can help me by spreading the word, just making that and getting out there and sharing that awareness.